Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest celebrity news, reality TV. Someone keeps saying that when people come on, their audio sounds better than mine. I'm like, fudge. So I'm trying to get, does that sound better? I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C, D, E, F. Let me know in comments which sounds better, numbers or letters, the first one or the second one. If you're listening to the audio, the first one with the numbers, I put up the audio to the microphone up to my face. The other one with the letters, it's where it was. Okay, it sounds a better away from the mouth. Okay, yay. But I do notice that when I did the emergency podcast about TikTok going off and Brittany came on, her audio sounded great. But I must admit, she has her own company. She has a huge social media business. So anyway, her audio sounded so good. Anyways, okay, welcome back. I hope you're doing great. We are still living in the world of snow. It is so pretty. Our school district is just still trying to decide if we'll have school or not tomorrow. I guess it depends on if it melts or not. Luna is a little more interested in the snow today. I'm going to check the weather. Oh, the school's calling. Hello. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, they're open. My kids will be unhappy. Anyway, I have to check the weather. It's 48 right now, so it should start. Let's see. It's not going to freeze again until 11 p.m. at night. So if this snow melts, which I'm assuming it will, then everything will be safe for people to drive, I hope. So anyways, hope everyone is being safe. Did see on the news that another, is it called Hughes fire? Hughes. It looked, it looked big. I was going to say huge, but it looked big yes, it's telling me school is opening tomorrow. Back in LA, I guess there's fires in San Diego. So continued prayers for everyone across the world dealing with natural disasters, personal disasters, all the things. Yes, thank you, Topper. Thank you for being number 20. Please take 1 second and take your finger, take your pinky, whatever, and hit the thumbs up button. Also, make sure you're subscribed to me here on YouTube. For some reason, people are telling me that YouTube unsubscribed them and they had to go back and resubscribe. I'm like, what the hell is going on? What the hell? Sound like Brittany. Brittany from Vanderpump Rules. Okay, let's get into last night's Beverly Hills. I have not watched New York City, but I'm kind of scared to. I don't know. It's sounding, I don't know. I'm so confused. I guess it sounds awful. I guess Bryn is sharing more details about her SA that she's experienced in her lifetime. But everyone is saying that this makes her look like a liar. Like the way they edit it. So I have no idea what's going on. I will watch it by tomorrow, but as we know, tonight is the Salt Lake City, and it's sold on Salt Lake City. So probably Thursday and Friday, I will recap, or one day I'll do 2 of them probably. I'll probably do New York on Thursday, Real Housewives of New York recap, and then Friday I'll probably do Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and sold on Salt Lake City. So who knows? Jen Helen says the New York finale was rough. I know people are giving a heads up that it could be very rough information to hear. That's why I'm really confused, because I thought that would bring understanding to Bryn. Instead, they're saying it makes her look like a liar. So I'm so confused. Khaki says Bryn claimed Uba didn't acknowledge her essay. I mean, I don't know what that means. Okay, I won't know any, and I won't have any opinions until I've watched it. I don't even want to say anything. So, she interviewed on Rolling Stone. Okay. Anyways, in the clicker that's going down, there is a link. I will put it here too. I think it will work if I do that. Let me see the link. Maybe you can just click on it if you want to push that and join to ask a question or have a comment. I think y'all are liking that better than the phone calls. And also, if you don't want to come on and show your face, you can always put your phone on your puppy dog, the ceiling, whatever. But I do kind of like it. I think the audio is better because then it's going through the computer and it's not really my phone where I have to make sure it's up to there. But if you want to call in, the phone number's down there also. So anyways, and I think it's a different link every day. So I think it's a unique link to that day. So don't try to use this same link for tomorrow. I'll put up a new link tomorrow, if that makes sense. Okay. Okay. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 14, episode 8. All of them are still chatting about the text that Kyle showed between her and PK, who was going through divorce with Dorit. Kyle did it thinking, oh, I'm going to prove there's nothing going on. And they were all like, this is not just memes and jokes, honey. Like, why are you saying that when you're putting in all these other words? So we know that Bose is recovering from fibroid surgery. So she decides to host at her house like a serenity soiree, which if anyone wants to host me for that, hello, I would love a big plush robe with my name embroidered on it. Like, hello. The delicious food she had, like slippers, hand massages, hanging out with your girlfriends in Hancock Park. Yeah, I'm all there. Thank you, Lisa, for being number 32 to hit the like button. I really appreciate it. Especially Bose. So Bose is brand new this season, but she and Dorit have really become close. And if you watched the video I made of the after show on Watch What Happens Live, she still has Dorit's back because they are still buddies. And somebody asked if you've run into PK since all of this. And she's like, no, but I hope I do because I've got a few words for him. And Andy Cohen was like, oh, I'd like to see this. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, we'd all love to see her running. Like, Bose is the girl. Like, she is the friend we all need on our side, right? So they're at the Serenity Soiree that's supposed to kind of make up for the last event where the shit hit the fan. Everyone's single, which I did not even think about. They're kind of hitting on the massage therapist, and they're like, everyone is single except for Bose. Bose has a boyfriend. I mean, Kyle, Dorit, Erica Jane, Sutton, Garcelle. I mean, who am I missing? Missing someone. Dorit. Anyways, I'm missing someone. Crazy, like Housewives, and they're just like a bunch of single women. Anyways, so almost immediately, they bring up the text situation. Kyle gets super upset. Some say fake tears. I say terrible acting. And she's like, I'm leaving. I'm like, bitch, you must take for advantage. You must take for granted that you've got this Serenity Soiree. Cause I'd be like, I can take a little heat, but also I'm like, this is your dang job, Kyle. Like, your job is to be on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and share everything. You don't come to this and they'd be like, oh, this isn't working. My internet is starting to be wacky, which drives me nuts because then I can see it. But it was so weird that she's defending herself, yet her text just dug her in more of a hole that she's not going against girl code. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not necessarily taking up for Dorit. I feel like she and Kyle's friendship was not as strong as they made it seem to be. I mean, whatever's true, if it's true that Kyle said, look, we never even talked. When we would not film for 5 months, we didn't talk. We didn't hang out. We didn't go get coffee. That's not a friendship then. That's a job. That is friends for a job. So that's not the same. So I don't know that girl code necessarily needs to be as strongly held up when they're not that good of friends. But when Kyle seems to act like, oh, PK's like a brother to me, I'm like, but is he? Like, you're both going through a separation of a long marriage with children. We know that PK and Mauricio have become really close. Like, they're totally, duding it out, dilfs out in the wild. And Dorit and Kyle are further apart than ever as friends. So I don't know. Oh, that's right. Jennifer Tilly does have a partner, but they said everyone was single except for Bose. But anyways, you're right. Jennifer Tilly does have a partner. Anyways, it kind of ends. She leaves. I don't really know. Like, it was kind of a nothing sandwich except for that. Portia for her 16th birthday. Mauricio shows up, all the sisters. It was really cute. I'm just sort of loving. So Dorit and Erica Jane end up going to this massage day because, to kind of make up for whatever. And Dorit is definitely on Kyle's side with this about the texting to PK. Dorit is not on Kyle's side. What am I saying? Erica Jane. And Dorit is not happy that she doesn't feel like Erica Jane really stood up for her like she should. So I don't know. I think it needs a revamp. What do you think? I mean, all these shows are just getting so, it's like an hour-long show and like maybe 7 minutes of something decent happens throughout the whole dang hour. You know what I mean? So convince me if I'm missing someone, but I am just not loving it. Wait, did y'all see? Yes, isn't that weird? I hope that's not true. Yvonne Gal said, did y'all see that Mauricio was in court fighting with his dad's girlfriend? Okay, I didn't know Mauricio was in court. I mean, isn't she claiming that he physically abused her or something? Mauricio's dad, who's like 81 years old. And this girlfriend's been shown on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills too. Yes. Krista just said it out loud. Krista said, fake shows. Bravo is dying. Maybe Jeff knew what he was talking about when he was shitting all over Bravo then today. So we'll chat about that very soon. Okay, let's get into Jeff Lewis Live. Today, Elizabeth Vargas, not the beautiful news Dateline lady, but Elizabeth Vargas, 2.0, lost 50 pounds, had her hair looking like a Texas queen, like the bigger the hair, the closer to God. Not sure that I was digging the hair, but anyway, it just didn't look like her. But anyways, Elizabeth Vargas from Real Housewives of Orange County, season 15, a little blip on her screen. She was gone. She wants to come back. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of surprised her and Kelly Dodd aren't friends. They're both thirsty as fuck. Like, I'm kind of surprised they're not on the same side. Yeah. K Kitty says, yes, I'm so over Real Housewives of I honestly don't know why I keep watching. I keep watching because I don't want to stop it until it's over. It's almost like if they would end it for me, then I would not be sad about it, right? But I want to see what happens at the end. Like, I can't just, it's really hard for me to stop watching a show like during the middle of it. You know what I mean? Today's show was painful. I skipped the first hour. Oh, okay. Let's chat about it. So Elizabeth Vargas was on with Ryan Bailey. So last week, I think it was Friday, Kelly and Rick were on. So if you pay attention to Kelly Dodd, I mean, who doesn't she feud with, right? She feuds with me. She feuds with everybody. Anywho, she definitely has had an on-again, off-again friendship with Elizabeth Vargas from Real Housewives of OC since the show ended, since Elizabeth has not been on the show. But they've even been close enough that Kelly has used, whatever you want to call it, some storage units of Elizabeth Vargas. So they were that close of friends at one point. Anyways, she was on today with Ryan Bailey. So when Jeff said that she's going to be on next week, she was kind of like, oh, like I could tell she wasn't happy about it. Like, why are you having one of my enemies on? It was kind of interesting. So she shows up almost unrecognizable. Not that she was ever overweight. I think it was a combination of the curls and the 50-pound weight loss, because that's a lot and it can make you, but I don't see her very much. Clearly, I don't follow her, none of that. So she is on tirzepatide. She has lost 50 pounds and she says she finally got happy. So whatever that means. She, at first, like the first 10 minutes, even someone in the Sarah from Texas Facebook group was like, how to play on the show. Oh, Christina says, Kelly was all over Jeff Lewis Live today, both shows today. Yes, for sure. She called it on both and he took both of her phone calls. So anyways, so at first somebody said on the Facebook group, oh, I'm really liking Elizabeth Vargas, whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, I kind of do too. Well, then it was like her pauses got so annoying to me. They were like 3 seconds is, that's a long time, right? So she was doing that all the time. I'm sure she was a little bit nervous, but it just seemed very like planned out and like she was thinking way too much about what she said. And I'm like, no, honey, if you're begging, which you are, for a new reality show, whether to go back to OC or to have your own reality show, like you said, and you're coming on Jeff Lewis Live, like, don't be so calculated in what you're saying. Like, just answer the questions. You're not, whatever. I had heard of this. So had you heard of this story? So Tiffany Chum says, I didn't know she was abducted. I think she was more held hostage at her own place than abducted. But Google, it kind of happened at the height or the end, whatever you want to call it, kind of happened during COVID. So I don't think we were hearing about it a lot. But also she says that she really didn't want this information out there because she was very freaked out about it, which I understand. But she basically says she was terrorized. She was held hostage. After the Housewives, people realized how rich she was, and she did not hide that. It's kind of what Housewives want you to do. She even says she bought, what was it, a Ferrari? She bought some car on the show, which we all remember. She had this house. She was going through a really bad divorce. That guy had a lot of money, but I also think she has companies. Like, I think she's self-made or she has a lot of money. I'm not really sure. So it's like, I don't know to hate her or respect her. You know what I mean? Like, I guess two things can be true, but she's at the end of the hour, I came across that she's super thirsty. I don't think she always tells the truth. I think she's a little cuckoo, do I want her to come back on Jeff Lewis Live? Yes, because I really want more information about this held hostage thing. She was kind of saying it like it was like going to Aldi's. I mean, she was just like telling this story. And then she was like, oh, it's really hard for me to tell this story. And I'm like, really? Like, I wouldn't know. Mabu says, Elizabeth Vargas is a very strange woman. I've watched her vlog a few times. She's certainly different. So she apparently has a podcast that she kept calling her show, Girl Talk Logic. I got lost when she was mentioning, was it Sophia and Christina? It sounded like they were maybe her partners on this show, which is her podcast. But then Christina calls in later on the phone with Rick Leventhal and Kelly Dodd and just blasting Elizabeth for being a liar. And I mean, am I the only one that was confused? I mean, Jeff even opened the second hour going, oh my God, I'm so confused. I don't know what I heard. I don't know what the truth is. Like, it was super. Yeah, it felt like she was held hostage at the beach house, the house on the beach, which has to cost a shit ton of money, that they showed her living in during her time on OC. But now she said today, she actually wasn't even living there. I don't think she was living there. She was renting this 350 square foot house for like by the day to film at, or apartment for $4,000 a day. I was really, really confused. Sorry, I have a different contact on today and it's driving me nuts. Was she in the music business? Oh God, I don't know. Yes, she has Vargas vodka. Doesn't everyone have a vodka line? Michael Riley says, doesn't she have a vodka line? Barely can remember. I mean, shh. Don't tell that to Elizabeth Vargas. She wants to be very memorable, apparently. I knew about the Jim Bellino story in real time because obviously we all saw the picture of them cozied up, Elizabeth Vargas and Jim Bellino, who is Alexis Bellino's ex from The Quiet Woman. Well, you don't go to The Quiet Woman if you don't want to be seen. I've been there. Bobby Boyd was there. I mean, you get seen at The Quiet Woman. Us fans go there. They know that. So I don't really exactly know the story. It sounds like Christina set her up, but it also sounds like they all knew this was going to get a lot of attention. I saw when Jim Bellino did the podcast, whatever it was, he was like outside of his country club behind him, and his side of the story with Kelly Dodd was something about, it was presented to him that she wanted to talk about getting her tequila into his restaurants. And they were going on kind of a work business thing. But then it came out that he showed up at her house. I'm like, well, when the hell do people that you don't know, when do you show up at her house to pick her up? Like, that sounds like a date. And then you go to The Quiet Woman, have a business meeting. Like, that is a place to be seen and to see others. It was so, like, I don't know. They're all thirsty as fuck. I mean, literally, Jimmy B is so thirsty. Kelly Dodd is so thirsty. Elizabeth Vargas is so thirsty. I mean, sip, sip, sip. Who knows who's telling the truth? So Kelly Dodd and Christina and Rick call in. They're like, she's a liar. Well, I felt like in the beginning of the show, Elizabeth Vargas had already sort of explained that she was wrong. The guy she wanted to date or was dating had maybe lied or alluded to some facts that he had, in fact, had sex with Kelly Dodd. But then, and so she went wild and I guess texted Rick and did it. She was mad at him. But then she's apologized to both of them. And Kelly has said that she apologized. So then I think Jeff was listening to this going, okay, this is all over. So when she's calling on the phone, I think Jeff thought, oh, this is going to be all cleared out. And instantly they're like, you're a liar. You're, blah, blah. I mean, who leaked the Jim and Elizabeth picture to TMZ though? Like they all have something to benefit. Elizabeth Vargas wants her name back in people's mouths. She even said today, who do I have to sleep with to get back on Bravo or to get my own TV show? She's absolutely thirsty. Kelly Dodd, I mean, the biggest Kelly Dodd fan can't argue against me that she's thirsty. I mean, that's her brand. I'm okay with it. She loves it. Good for her. But this Christina girl might have something to gain because it sounds like she worked with Elizabeth Vargas and was friend. Like, does anyone understand this? Me too. Sandra says, I thought Kelly and Elizabeth made up. And I don't know still why Kelly called in so mad because it had nothing. I guess it was the TMZ thing, but I guess she was I don't know. I couldn't even understand it. It was literally like Ryan did a great job of just putting in some funny little blurps and stuff like anyways, but because he's obviously a huge Housewives fan. So I can imagine him sitting there going, oh my God, I've got Kelly Dodd and Elizabeth Vargas fighting on the phone. Like this is a freaking amazing. Debbie said it was as if we were all supposed to know who Sophie and Christina are. I never heard of these people, but I'm really glad they all have shows. Exactly. I'm like, explain it, like lead us into these things. Like, I feel like Jeff explained, okay, let's talk. You were on Real Housewives of OC for a little bit, all those things. Hold on, I'm trying to read y'all's comments. Make sure to click the, let me see, I wish I knew how to pin this. There is the link if you want to come up on video with me with a question or comment. Tiffany Chump says, I don't understand why Jeff defends Kelly Dodd so much. He sees exactly what she's doing. She's always starting shit. Just like when she called him with Glam by Pam talking about Shannon, rude. I think he does know what she's doing, and I think he thinks it's good for radio, like ratings. It got everyone talking, right? I have to admit, for a couple of weeks, couple of months, I have to admit, a lot of us were kind of like, Jeff Lewis, it's kind of a snooze fest when he got all into Trump virus, whatever happened yesterday with the fan, whatever, which I now better understand because I was not caught up in my DMs and I didn't realize this fan had been posting a few things on her social media, which let some people know that's who he was talking about yesterday. But when I got accused and I got the DMs and the text even saying, oh my God, is Jeff talking about you? Did you email him? And I'm like, no, but what is going on? Now it makes sense. And this fan's posts have been sent to me and the live that she did last night for about 6 minutes. Go check it out if you want to. She claims she's going to come back. But I'm like, anyways, enough of that craziness. I'm just saying it got people talking again. So I think Jeff realizes that's kind of the point of his show is he wants people talking about his show. Not saying he's using Kelly Dodd. I do think he likes Rick and Kelly. I do love that Jeff stands up for the people that he likes, his friends, even when his audience is telling him, I'm going to cancel SiriusXM. I don't like when you have Patty Stanger on. I don't like when you whatever. We don't know what's going on. We don't know if Patty Stanger helped him at Bravo because they kind of came up together with Bravo. I mean, that's a long-lasting relationship that I think Jeff isn't going to throw out the window and actually respect that part of it. I mean, it's his show at the end of the day. The ratings will tell him if he needs to keep having guests on or not, right? But I don't think in some ways he sells himself out for ratings. I think he's literally going to have people on, whether they're, people turn it off or not. And I also, when everyone gets in his coffee comments, like, I turned it off. I'm like, but yet you came to his Instagram to comment that you turned the show off. Like, what the hell? It was, the chump virus thing. No. Michelle says, y'all tell me everything. Y'all are so good. I mean, the way some of y'all are way more Jeff Lewis obsessed than I am, y'all need to have a fan account. Michelle said, did you read the comments on Justin Martindale's story? Julie Goldman and Brandy were commenting and talking about the whole Jeff situation. No, I did not know that. But will Justin be invited to the next dinner? Maybe. I have no idea. No. Thank you. Mary said, I never thought it was you. Well, other people did. And even whenever I watched the commercial video last night, the Jeff Lewis video, during one of the commercials, he doesn't say my name. Shane doesn't. But after a call, he says, oh, I don't think anyone's going to know who this person is. Well, honestly, if you're an OG, you kind of do know who she is. If you're just a listener, you maybe don't know who she is. But if you have gone to a couple of live events, if you have been on Cooking Kibitz, if you have, watched the Facebook groups, this person has been very active and very like, hey, I'm the biggest Jeff Lewis fan ever. So you would know who she was. I just didn't know yesterday that she had been posting these things on her her Instagram, like, oh, I'm not going to listen to Jeff Lewis anymore, whatever. So that would have probably put two and two together that, oh, maybe he's talking about her. But clearly the audience assumed he was talking about me because y'all sent me the Facebook post where people were like, oh, it's FST. It's Sarah from Texas. And I'm like, oh, she's scaring them again. I'm like, fuck off. But you see during a commercial break where Shane even says they're going to think it's her. And I don't think they were talking about that person. I think he was talking about me because they do assume it's me. They do assume that Jeff and I don't have, that we are on the outs, and we're not on the outs. So anyways, ooh, Jet says, I could see Kelly Dodd and Jeff Lewis having a big falling out someday. She'll press the wrong button and it won't end well. The only thing I can ever see is if she totally, I don't know. Jeff, I was thinking Shannon, if she ever like fucked over Shannon, Jeff is so protective of Shannon, but I don't know. Jeff has a really good way somehow, because I can't. If someone F's over someone I know and I know it for facts, I'm thinking they're going to do that to me eventually, right? But Jeff has a really good way of just like keeping things separate. And a lot of the chumps do too. Like with Megan and Doug, I always think, God, they seem like really good friends, on and off the show. I think they would go hang out together and go to dinner together sometimes. And now I think, do Megan and Doug still talk and Doug just chooses not to talk about that with Jeff? Or did he and Megan stop talking because we know Jeff says, I don't F with people who F with people that I don't F with anymore. And he really meant that about his inner circle. And Doug is very much part of Jeff's inner circle for years. So he wouldn't want to be having conversations with Doug, knowing that he's still hanging out and talking to Megan, and he could be giving her insider information about himself, about Jeff. So I don't know. I don't see a big falling out with Kelly and Jeff, because Kelly needs him too much. I'm just saying. I think she always thinks, oh, he'll put me on his TV show. He'll do our, he'll do our kitchen or something. You know what I mean? Yes. Michael Riley says, Kelly has said the most horrible things about Shannon Bedore that you could ever imagine on her show. And Jeff knows that because I'm sure Shannon tells him. I don't know that some of these people really get involved in the minutia of other people's, they probably don't listen to everything. It's almost like Tamara Judge, who Jeff says always calls him up whenever people say, I heard you were talking about me. And he's like, go listen to the show. Like, that's what I say about people about me. Listen to my show. If you think I said something, or if you think I intended something, great. But don't hear something from someone else and from someone else. Then it becomes a game of, like second grade telephone, like seriously. Debbie says Jeff keeps it separate for a while until he's in one of his moods and cleans house. I think everyone has an expiration date in his life. I mean, except for Zoila and Aurora, right? Yes, they don't listen to everything, but everybody else tells them so they don't have to listen. But I've had this where people have told me something very different. Case in point, Heather McDonald's latest Patreon. Well, a few weeks ago, I listened to it eventually, but at first somebody was putting in Reddit and somebody copied and pasted on all the Facebook groups and sent it to me that somebody's summary of it was saying some stuff that she didn't say, that Jeff lost his Bravo show. She didn't even talk about that. Like, there were like 2 lies that I can remember that somebody had posted and everyone's going to believe it. No, somebody offered their login for me. And so I kindly listened to the Heather McDonald Juicy Scoop Patreon. And then I got all the facts and I was like, nah, these 2 things they didn't say, you know what I mean? Yes, she calls into both Jeff and Doug. I don't know what that means. Michael Riley says Kelly needs those horrible bathrooms done at that new house. She's desperate. Has she shown her new bathrooms? I don't know. Who knows? 8 chumps complained about him. Yeah, that kind of died out, didn't it? I mean, Jeff, I don't think was going to call the chumps out, but whenever he said that about Justin Martindale, he certainly never named them. Name them. And no chumps said anything negative about Justin Martindale that I'm aware of. So I don't really know. Yeah, I'm kind of probably too much of a straight shooter. I've always been honest to a fault. Diane says, you're a straight shooter, Sarah. I mean, I'm just honest. I have nothing to lose at 51. You know what I mean? Like, this is just fun to me. Like, I have nothing to lose about lying. There's no reason for me to lie about anything. But why? I thought he liked him. Jordy says Jeff was looking for a reason to get rid of Justin. I don't know. Mayboo says, don't think Kelly Dodd is as friendly with Heather McDonald as she was. She mentioned Heather McDonald ringing about talking about her when it was in fact Heather Dubrow. Kelly seemed annoyed. Oh yeah, Heather McDonald, she said, called her up and said, are you going to talk about me on your show? And she's like, no, I'm talking about Heather Dubrow. So thank you. Anne says, that's why we watch your channel. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Okay. So that was kind of weird. Clearly, when they called in, it was like 39 minutes into the first hour, and Kelly, Christina, Rick, which Kelly and Christina did sound very similar, are calling Elizabeth Vargas a liar and saying that she's thirsty. And I'm like, okay. Anyways, the rest of the show, and then she says, Christina. Oh, I was like, who's Christina? She auditioned for the Housewives. So that kind of made it all in perspective for me. I'm like, oh, so Christina's thirsty too. Like, all these people just want to be back on TV and get a paycheck, which is weird. I mean, doesn't Kelly act like they have all this money? I mean, Elizabeth Vargas, I think, actually does have a bunch of money. Like, it's so weird. But even Elizabeth Vargas admitted, what was she on? Somebody's podcast? What was she on somewhat recently? And she said that she put her house on the market for the show when she was on the beginnings of OC, the last season OC, and let Gina try to sell it. And that was all for the show. And she thought it was going to be she would be shown more, and she really wasn't. You know what I mean? Mayboo says, well, guess what Rick and Kelly show is going to be about tomorrow? Exactly. Which I get it. They talk about things that are going on. You know what I mean? It just, whatever. Heather says, Jeff didn't want to look petty and demand that Justin pick between him and Krista Lamas, but this was his way. Okay. So Justin's not necessarily Jeff's inner circle, but Krista definitely was his inner circle and probably knows a lot about Jeff. And so I don't know. I'm so confused. They all get drunk and fight. That's the show. I mean, the way all y'all tell me she's drunk on her shows, I don't know. I can't pay attention to drunk Kelly versus sober Kelly. Mayboo says if they had money, they wouldn't beg for tips on live shows. Ooh. Okay. On the second hour was Carney Wilson, Eden Sassoon. Carney opens up and she's like, I don't want any drama in my life. I'm like, why are you coming on Rick and Kelly? You know what I mean? Yes, I did. Who is the new fan virus? Oh, we just chatted about that. I ain't giving 2 seconds of her name because I have my own personal history with her, and it ain't good. Not bad on my part. Anywho. Okay, Carney Wilson and Eden Sassoon talk a lot with Jeff about the fire insurance, lack of coverage. It's interesting. I think a lot of people probably deal with not having enough coverage to rebuild, especially after this. The prices are going to go up for the whole country to rebuild. So, I think a lot of us need to call our insurance and make sure of what coverage we have in case of something awful like a fire and just, ruining the house. If you've got insurance coverage for $350,000 and it would cost $500,000 to rebuild your home, oh, you got to come up with that money. And I'm assuming after you lose all the contents in your home from a fire, that it's not going to be easy to come up with all that money. Jeff and them talking about AA. I'm like, I don't know, to meet dudes. Like, I don't think you have to prove when you walk into AA that you have an alcohol problem, but I don't know that Jeff Lewis, I don't even think he would. I think he's just joking. I sort of wish he would give this guy in Dallas, Ty, a little more. I don't know. He was very clear, like, not in a relationship. I'm just dating him. I'm like, I don't know. I think he really likes him. I think the fact that Jeff isn't saying a whole lot about him in these 4-night trips that he's spending with Jeff, and he's saying everything's going really well. They're not fighting. It's not uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm so happy for him that I sort of wish they would be official, but maybe it is. I say it's too early. And I mean, Jeff can get official with someone in 36 hours. So let's not, act like he doesn't, you know what I mean? Oh, Tracy, it's so much. Tracy says you have to tell us about your experience with the chump. Woo! Maybe on Sundays, ask me anything. I mean, because that's a whole, I need a few days. And also on this person's live, it was like 6 minutes long. They alluded to the fact that maybe they would come on and tell some more information. I'm like, I read the comments and it was like, okay, so you're stopping listening to Jeff Lewis. Like, move on. Why did you have to announce this? Like, you sound thirsty. You sound like a narcissist. And I was like, wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. You're talking about how cold it is. Yeah, Yvonne Gal says, I love Justin. I enjoy him so much on the show and his pod. So you'll just have to get his information. Somebody did tell me, I think, a tidbit of his Patreon that he lost money. I think he had to cancel some shows. So I'm not sure if the shows canceled him, if he just wasn't in a good place to go and do his shows, but he lost some financial money from, the whole chump virus of it all that, I don't think he was. Oh, Mabu, the book I can write. I've said that for years. Mabu says you're going to be able to write a book in a few years. I mean, the way some chumps have effed me over and gone batshit crazy. I mean, some worse than others. And wow. Oh, he had a family need and had to cancel his shows. Oh, well, then I guess it has nothing to do with chump virus then, right? So, yes, Nancy said Kelly Dodd had stuff in Elizabeth's storage unit and forced Rick and Kelly to get it out immediately. That was after saying Kelly slept with her boyfriend. Yeah, but if I have a friend that I'm so kindly letting use my storage unit, which get your own dang storage unit. I mean, it's $100 a month. Like, are you that broke, Kelly Dodd? If I'm having a feud with them and I truly believe that my boyfriend has slept with Kelly Dodd, I'm going to say, get your storage unit, get your stuff out of my storage unit also. I mean, like, we're not friends. To me, I don't even borrow anyone's storage unit. I don't need to, but I'm like, that is a close friend. That's not just like someone that you like their Instagram story, right? Like, if I'm fighting with someone, I'm like, get out of it. You know what I mean? Anyways, okay. So at 47 minutes into the show, they talked about Monroe and she's not eating lunch. She's in second grade. Shane and Jeff are both dating people that are not obsessed with food, but yet Jeff and Shane are obsessed with food, which I'm like, oh, totally understand. 47 minutes into, Jeff is like, wait, is this Kelly Dodd on the phone again? Like, why is she calling in? She was calling in and I had already made a story and I'm like, oh shit. I usually don't make a story about Jeff Lewis much, but only if something really good. But, I literally was like, what did my thing say? I said, should Jeff Lewis put Kelly and Rick on pause? I haven't even looked at it, but to see what people wrote. But anyways, I'd already made that story and I'm like, oh shit. She calls in to bitch and moan about the caller that called in, basically saying I had a right to call in because I was defending myself. I mean, I sort of get it, but if anything, I felt like Elizabeth Vargas had already said I messed up. Like, I thought she had had sex. I thought she had cheated with my boyfriend on Rick because my boyfriend had given me wrong information and he didn't. So I had already apologized to Rick and Kelly. And I thought Kelly has said that on her Smash show too, but I don't know. I felt like they just wanted some more airtime. You know what I mean? So then Jeff brings up Bravo, which I hope he is not screwing himself over because we haven't heard anything about flipping out 2.0 in weeks. Nothing. Crickets. So when Jeff was alluding to a flipping out 2.0 return, I mean, for weeks, months, he was saying, like, I always pick up on things, right? He was saying things. I'm like, He finally admits it somewhat recently that yes, he's in talks with Bravo, flipping out 2.0 is coming back. And then Andy Cohen was like, wait a minute, did you actually sell that show? Like, I thought y'all were just in talks. And he's like, oh, well, I guess, yeah, we're just in talks with this 32 Flavors production company that Alice Baskins does. So now it's been kind of crickets, nothing. And then it was that he was going to get this hair transplant last week. So he was going to delay filming until April. And I'm like, you got to get the coins in your pocket when it's hot. Like, don't go delaying stuff. Also, if Michael Beck is supposed to be the showrunner or the producer, whatever it's called, some big wig of flipping out 2.0, this is making him like delay money and have to go find another job, right? Another project in between. So he hasn't really been talking about it at all. Today, he updates us that Bravo is punishing him for having Jen Pedranti and Katie Janella, whatever her name is, on the radio as a call-in last week to promote their upcoming event that they had with Shannon Bedore to raise money for the LA wildfires. And Jeff's like, why are they punishing me for this? Why are they slapping my hand for this? Like, we do have these rules, but I figured that this would be kind of one of those that was okay to break because they were promoting a fundraiser and I thought it would be okay. The interesting thing to me is that he said Shannon Bedore wasn't willing to come on the radio. Well, if Shannon Bedore can't come on the radio, it sounds like Shane needed to verify that Jen Pedranti and I don't even think it's his fault. I think it's Jen Pedranti and Katie's fault. They need to also know what their rules are of when they can call into a show, when they can do things. I feel like Jeff needs to know that, but I feel like the Housewives need to know all of that too, right? So I don't know if this is going to screw him over. I mean, Jeff seems to not be talking about this at all, and we're all like waiting for flipping out 2.0. You know what I mean? Did it sell for less than $1 million? Sarah Lee says Rick's Hamptons house sold for less than $1 million. It's a poor house for the Hamptons. I wonder how much he paid for it because didn't he say he'd owned that for like 30 years? So hopefully he made some money on it. I mean, if I owned a home for 30 years, I would hope I made a huge profit on it, especially in my eye is whatever. Sherry says, I'm thinking the show is a no-go due to the fires. The home renovations. Oh my goodness. I didn't even think about how these LA wildfires would affect flipping out 2.0. Like, because I don't give a shit about the flipping out and the home renovations or the quote celebrities. I care about Jeff Lewis's personal life and his employees and radio. Like, I was only thinking about it for that. But Sherry says the home renovations probably can't happen because the workforce is all working on rebuilding. Wow, I didn't even think about that. And Jeff hasn't really said anything either, right? I don't know. Lincoln the Golden says, did Jeff even have a signed deal with Bravo? All he says is that he's in negotiations. Even Reza has said for a long time, his talks for a return of Shaw's of Sunset is way further along than Jeff's. Jeff was still doing this sizzle reel or whatever you call it. Like, even as of last week, he was like, we got to get that in the mail. That's like a video where you say, this is what I want the show about. These are the people that would come on. I mean, I don't know what a sizzle, but that's what it means. Something like that. You know what I mean? Ooh, Debbie says, I notice a difference. And a lot of it is that they've been married now for a couple of years. I mean, whatever, but Kelly definitely doesn't kiss up to Rick like she used to. You know what I mean? Rick still kisses up to Kelly. Debbie says Kelly does look at Rick with disgust sometimes. I don't know. I don't watch their damn show. Jet says Jeff is all talk and little follow through. He has many big ideas and plans, but most of them he doesn't complete. I would say that, yeah, he does. I think things get in the way, but I think he does mention things on the radio before it's done deal. Like, oh, we might do a Nashville show. We might do a New York City show. We might do a Chicago live event. We might do a San Antonio live event. And everyone gets all excited and want to make plans. And then, it just kind of goes by the wayside. You know what I mean? That's sold. Okay, we obviously have about 15 minutes. We're going to open it up for general comments and questions. Or you can click the link that is in there, this link in comments. That is only live during the show, so please don't click it at 7 p.m. tonight if you want to join on live with a question or comment. Liz, I love that. Linz loves Bravo. What about the property he bought with Christina Ricci? He hasn't mentioned that in a while. That sold, and they did really well on it. It sold, and they used MJ as the realtor, and they want to do another house where Christina Ricci is even more involved in and Jeff even says she's really good with like remodels and designs and stuff. So anyways, hey, sorry, my contact is so blurry. I can't use this brand, but with all the, I was using different ones to see which one, the two samples she gave me. Yvonne Gal says, I would love to know how many chunks there really are. Are there 1 million, more or less? What's a chunk? What are y'all? Chunks. Oh, viewers, listeners. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Send the contacts back. Yeah, it's just a matter of me. They were samples, so it's a matter of me picking between the two, which ones I like. So I need to call and tell them the ones that I decided I like. Debbie says, I don't watch Rick and Kelly. She gets too intense for me. I've seen her give him the side eye on Jeff's show before. Yeah, I definitely have seen them get a lot more comfortable with each other. And, you know what I mean? Y'all have got my mind spinning. Now I kind of wonder how Flipping Out 2.0 is going to go forward. Or is it going to make it an even better show? Because now we could maybe have Spencer Pratt's rebuild in Pacific Palisades. Could he get bigger? Could he do Melissa Rivers' house again? Paris Hilton's house. I mean, I don't know. Paris Hilton's house is so what she's shown of her house. So she lost one house. I don't know which house she lived in. She shows a lot of her house. Does anyone know which house? Does she have more than one house? She shows a lot of her interior with her Instagram because she shows her kids and the baby and Phoenix and London. And it's very not Jeff style. It's very traditional and a little bit outdated, if you will. I mean, love it, but it's a very traditional, little bit, early 2000s designed house, it looks like for me. Jet, Kelly Dodd is waiting for Rick Leventhal to kick the bucket. He ain't that old. He's about, 65 or 67? I think he just had a birthday. I think Spencer Pratt would do anything I don't know. Mabu says Spencer Pratt doesn't like Jeff Lewis. I remember him saying something on Heather McDonald when Erin Gate went on, but I think he's willing to shove that under who knows? Oh, my contact is so blurry. Jet says she'll wheel him right into Shady Pines and move a new boyfriend into the beach house. Gross. Oh my goodness. Julie says, I appreciate Kelly's honesty. I like them both. She can be a little hot-headed, but I think she's getting tired of being dragged by people. Is she getting tired of it, or does she instigate it because she loves her name in people's mouths? Like, I get it. She's honest. I totally get that. But I get that she's hot-headed. I don't think Kelly Dodd fakes her temper. I don't think she's faking that. I think that's truly her. But do I think she's getting tired of people dragging her? No, I don't, because I think she feels like whatever to get people to watch my show. You know what I mean? Which who cares? I mean, it's the game. Who cares? Like, I get it. I could have done and said so much more about Heather McDonald's bamboozle to me at the BravoCon VIP room to get more ratings. I could have said so much more about Donna freaking Bowling and whatever that other dude's name. I mean, I could say a lot to get more ratings, and I choose not to. So I could say a lot about the fan from yesterday. I mean, I can, honey. I feel like Kelly knows exactly what she's doing, and she is fine with the fans coming at her. You know what I mean? Cecily says Kelly is mean and she only likes rich or pretty people. Anyone that can do something for her. If I could do something for her, if I had 1 million followers, she'd be a lot nicer to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Thank you for hitting the like button. I really appreciate it. Who's been arrested? Like, what? Who's been arrested? Who are y'all talking about? Okay, I'm going to hit the button to remind y'all to hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up. Okay, no one's going to come on live with me today. No one's going to call in. Hello. Come on, that's the fun part. I love that. I'm ready to get back on the schedule and have my kids go back to school tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Even some of my college kids have been out of school because 2 go to school in Texas and 1 goes to school in Georgia, and Georgia's closed campus because of their weather. So got to keep everybody safe. Lots of snow and ice. It's the ice that's really bad, right? The ice for sure. Anyways, I took my comments off. Sorry. This contact is driving me bonkers. Did y'all see the crock pot meal I'm making tonight? I know it's going to be a lot of sodium. Don't talk to me about that with the olives, but chicken breast, tomatoes, a tiny bit of chicken broth, and then kalamata. Is that what you pronounce? The Greek olives and the green olives, but I didn't have a cup of Greek olives, so I did more of the kalamata. And then when it's ready, I'm going to do some feta cheese on top. Cannot wait. But I also have salmon left over from that last night. So, Jet, if I only had a clue what this social media world was all about, I had no clue. And it's not just Jeff Lewis. Now, Jeff Lewis listeners have a lot of opinions, and some of them are very mean, but Bravo fans can also. But I tell you, the Jeff Lewis sub drama, like the Facebook groups, the Reddit, it's insane. Jet says you could write a tell-all book about all the Jeff Lewis live sub drama for damn sure. It's crazy. Yeah, are we ever going to see the Morocco trip? Like, what the hell? I don't know how these olives are going to taste cooked, though. No, I cooked them in salmon, but this is going to cook for 4 hours on high. So I don't know. Eat the salmon today? Why? Is it going to go bad? I made it 2 nights ago. When did I make it? Oh, yes, I made it 2 nights ago. Let's talk about the Wegovy. Mary says, quick question. The second week of your Wegovy journal, how did the first week go? Did I lose any? I don't know if I'm lost any weight yet because I haven't thought to weigh myself first thing in the morning after I pee, which is the weight that I want to track. And people told me don't pay attention to the weight the first week or so. I can tell you I took it last Monday. I'm going to delay it and take it again tonight. I'm going to get on a Wednesday schedule because for me, I tend to go out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the more nights that I go out to a restaurant or go out with friends and my husband. So I just want to get on a Wednesday schedule. I think Monday, we all have it in our brain. Oh, it's Monday. I'm going to eat healthy. So I think Monday's an easier night. I just happen to take it. So I'm actually going to take the second shot tonight. But I can tell you, this is day 10. I still just the food noise is gone. Like I'm not thinking like Jeff and Shane. Oh, what's for lunch? What are we having? What are we going to do? What am I only going to have this? Am I only going to have this? Am I bad if I had 2 ice creams? Am I good if I had this? I mean, no, it's just a non-event for me. And I know some people have that already. Like for some, you're white knuckling it all the time about not drinking alcohol or other choices, shopping, whatever your thing is. for me, it was food. So for me, this takes away that. And I can't tell you how good it is for me, my self-esteem, my confidence, my mental health, like already, much less if I lose weight and lower my cholesterol, bonus. If my entire wardrobe that doesn't fit me fits, I mean, if y'all are a subscriber on my Instagram, I've been posting, the business on the top, the party on the bottom, because I don't fit into anything. I can't fit into even my jeans, my jean shorts. The shorts I have on today are like Nike XL shorts, so they fit me. Some of my clothes fit me even within 40 pounds. Like, I don't like tight clothes. So some of my, like this was, one of my tops, but the jeans and stuff, no, I can't gain 40, 45 pounds and still fit into my same jeans. And I don't keep other jeans from when I've been heavier. I just get rid of them because I think I'm always going to go up and down. But I just thought those are old styles. Like, I don't even want those. Does that make sense? So I'm excited to take the other shot tonight because I'm so happy that this is day 10 and I'm still feeling like even if I want to snack more, I'm choosing healthy snacks. And I feel just like it's easy to choose the healthy snacks. I feel like that's what my body is asking for, instead of me like white knuckling, not eating an ice cream, and I'm having to eat, a cheese stick or something, or a piece of turkey. And I only attribute that to Wegovy. It is not willpower anymore. It is something that is off with some people's GLP-1s that are naturally in your body, in the way you communicate from your brain to your stomach. It's life altering. I cannot even tell you. Go listen to my podcast that I did with Susan Olson the other day. It's up at Sarah from Texas, or it's under the live. It is so much information, whether you have insurance or not. There's ways to get it mailed to your house for less than $200 a month. That's not the route that I'm on, but that is a route. So Lisa said, the Instapot rice cooker cooks way faster than my crock pot. I had to give away that Instapot. I could not deal with the not knowing exactly when it was going to be ready. If I was doing pasta, it's like, oh, when's the thing going to blow? No, I just crock pot, turn it on, leave. I've got the warm option on my crock pot. So mine does 2, 4, 6, 8, or 10 hours. So today I did 4 hours because I did on high, because I was super lazy and didn't do the crock pot until 1:30 today. But anyways, and I only did 3 chicken breasts because now that all 3 of the daughters are away at college, we're not eating as much. So anyways, totally wanted to try and learn some of these recipes. Yeah, we need to share recipes with each other. This blurry thing is driving me nuts. Yeah, I love the crock pot. Send me your good crock pot recipes. I feel like everything is like chicken with cream of mushroom and milk, or an onion, Lipton onion soup on top. Like, I am trying to find some different ones. So I am trying to share those with y'all. I love tomato stuff. I love chicken. I love the meat that comes out of a crock pot because it's so much more tender. I'm trying to look at what time it is. Okay. I don't know what that means. Deborah says, Ozempic has a patient assistance program. So let us know more about that if you can in comments. Well, we are going to wrap things up. Oh, good. Kimberly J says, I went to a compounding pharmacy because of Sarah. Thank you. Susan Olson also gave information on how to make sure your compounding pharmacy, if it's important to you, that it's FDA not approved. I forget the word was. Anyway, so it was just such a good podcast about all the weight loss shots, whether you plan to be on them or not, whether you plan to use insurance or not. It was really good. Oh, well, join me. Donna Maria says, wait, who said that? Linda, sorry. I have an opinion about today. Chef Lewis would love to discuss live. Click this link. I'm going to put this in the thing, and then we're going to log out for tomorrow. But click on this, Linda, and I will bring you up. What do you want to chat about? Because we normally like, that scared the crap out of me. I have an alarm set every day at 4:00 to make sure I don't go over too long. And for some reason, it startled me to no end. When you click the link that's in the scroll there, it's only for this show. I think every show my software gives me a specific link for that show. So it's only good for this show. But if you want to join live tomorrow, have a question or comment, then I'll put that link in the comments also, and I will scroll it. So don't worry. Anyways, we're waiting on Linda to get on if she wants. Lisa says, I have a ribeye in my air fryer. 45 for 15 minutes. Flip it over for 15 more minutes, and it's so charred, but oh so very tender. I love a ribeye. I love the fat on a steak, so I love a ribeye, to be honest with you. Yum. Why don't they let you go over? Oh, I can go over 4 o'clock. I just try to be respectful of y'all's time, because I think an hour is a long time for a podcast. I got nothing else to do. I got nothing else to do but hang out and talk to y'all right now. Yes, Christina says a 501 or a 503 is a good pharmacy. Didn't she say something about it's FDA not approved? Like the pharmacy is approved, but they don't control the medicines from there. But if you get like a brand name Ozempic or a brand name Mounjaro, then it is controlled by the FDA. But boy, the tirzepatides and the semaglutides are 80% of the price if you get it through whatever. Deborah, this blurry eyes drive me nuts. Deborah says, if you're on a fixed income or income is under a certain amount a year, they do it for free. Wow, that's good to know. Good to know. Michael says, off subject, did anyone know what a WS is? Oh, what a W-9? Isn't that a income tax thing? You are not 60-some years old, don't know what a W-9 is. Isn't like that when you work for someone as a contractor? I don't know. I'm 51 and don't know what it is, so who knows? Sarah, is Ozempic stronger than the others? I don't think so. There's different levels of all of them. I think Susan even said that Ozempic is the same exact ingredient that I'm on, which is Wegovy, which is weird to me. I thought Ozempic was for people with diabetes, which I don't have. My A1C is healthy. It's my cholesterol that's high, and my BMI. What is BMI stand? My body fat content. Basically, with my height and my weight, I'm overweight. So basically, Krista says if people are a certain weight or have heart disease or have diabetes, many insurances offer huge discounts. I have helped people get them. Ooh, good to know, Krista. Can anyone reach out to you for that help? Or you mean your clients probably? Okay, Linda, I don't see you getting on. Linda, what happened to you? By the way, it's not instantaneous. You do have to, it's not anything you have to log in or do. It's almost like clicking a Zoom link. So it's almost instantaneous. But I do think it asks you, see how my thing says Sarah from Texas? Well, maybe I have the banner on. So see the Sarah from Texas thing down here? Right there. I think if you come up as a guest, you have the option to type something in there or not. You don't have to. So anyways, but I don't see her coming on. A 1099 is a form for NEC, non-employee compensation. But what's W-9? I don't know. Don't know what that is. Anyways, well, we are going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for joining live. Please make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed because some people are telling me YouTube is unsubscribing them. Make sure you follow me everywhere at Sarah from Texas Podcast. And if you're listening as a podcast, please take 3 seconds to scroll down wherever you get your podcasts and hit the 5-star and give me a review. Whatever you want to say, something nice. All of that, it's free. And it helps the algorithm. It helps other people to find my podcast. So I would really appreciate it. Okay, I will see you tomorrow. Bye, y'all.